There's something special about keeping an old car on the road, like this 1994 Lincoln Town Car. It's big, it's comfortable, and it drinks gas like it's still the 90s. So when I finally picked up a set of new wheels for it, I knew I couldn't trust this job to just anyone, and that meant mounting the tires myself. I'd watched a few videos, gathered some basic tools, and convinced myself that mounting and balancing my own tires would be a simple afternoon project. Oh, how wrong I was. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be unmounting a tire from an old rim and putting it on a new rim that I got for the 94 Lincoln Town Car. We'll be using this trusty manual tire changer and a high quality bubble balancer. Just kidding about the high quality part. Come along for the ride and let's jump in. This is one of the old rims. Typical rim damage. We got this wheel weight on there. Typical corrosion you're going to see on an aluminum rim after 30 plus years. And what I got to replace it over here from Wheels America, what looks to be a brand new rim. These are actually reconditioned, refinished. I think they did a really great job. I thought the price was reasonable to me anyway, although, you know, there's nothing wrong with the rim that was on it. It's straight and true, and I just don't like the way it looks. So let's see how to get that tire off of there. I want to transfer this tire onto the new rim because there's still plenty of meat left on it. All right. Okay, so just a closer look at the equipment here. Yeah, standard Harbor Freight manual tire changer. It is bolted into a piece of 4x8 plywood cut in half and glued and screwed together to give a pretty heavy solid base. This is the duck head attachment. Makes it a little smoother changing the tire, getting the tire on and off, and it has this plastic duck head that won't scratch your rims. Hiding around here is a custom piece of scrap wood, which we'll see how to use that in a second. Just some soapy water. There's a tool to remove the valve stem core, and then this is a tool to install a valve stem. And then right next door here is this high quality bubble balancer. Now this was like an eBay special. I think these are available at Harbor Freight as well. If you struggle like I did with getting this to give proper readings, I got a couple of tips to help out with that. So, all right, let's get into it. We got to break the bead on that. It's the first step, so cover that up. So protect your rim. Yeah, raise this guy up. All right, so we got a bungee cord. Like that. So you want to be careful this metal part doesn't scratch into your rim. Got a piece of plastic, I just cut it out of a gallon jug like that, and it won't hurt the rim. Got to get the air out of the tire, so just using my tool. Alright, so here we got it mounted up on the tire changer. Take some kind of cloth, in this case some old socks. There, gives it a little extra protection. And then just goes on there, and then tighten down a good bit. Don't need to go too crazy. Take our duck head attachment. We got the duck head attached here, so it takes a bit of fiddling with, at least on this one, with getting the set screws all in the right place. But basically now I tested out, this is fairly free just to swing all the way around the rim and not get hung up anywhere. I've got these devices here that actually hold the tire down into the center of the rim. That's going to give us enough slack basically to pull the tire off. So I'm going to install one. You always go counterclockwise, so I'm going to install one over here and just press it on there. Okay, and magically this tire iron is here. It's a Harbor Freight tire iron, really just a couple of bucks. And then I got these sleeves from eBay. They are hard plastic, but the idea is they slide on the tire iron, and then it won't have a tendency to mar the rim at all. Alright, it's not the greatest angle for you guys, sorry about that. I'm going to take some soapy water here and just kind of spray it around a little bit. Here, getting under that tire. And then lever that up. Like that. So the tire is up on that part of the duck head. We're going that way. And as the tire is going to want to drop down, but I'm going to put the tire iron right in there to keep that from dropping down. And then we're going to go counterclockwise. All right. Here. Got my hip over here on the bar, 2 hands free, and I'm just going to gently give it some nudges. Get that soapy water going a little bit. I don't think I got a good coating on there. Trying to ease this around. Okay. Okay. It does take a fair amount of force, I tell you. It really does. Doesn't want to go. Maybe it's... See if that helps putting them over there. It's creeping. Okay, now we're getting past the sticking part here. And now we'll pop that guy out. Okay, he's going. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we'll take the bar out of there. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna okay. Okay. Yeah, right now I'm just gonna go ahead, put that in there. Come all the way down and out the bottom. I'm gonna pull the thing up. Pop up there. Okay. You ready? Get our bar handy here. Counterclockwise. Just get in there. Just come on Oh, okay. Well, close, but no cigar. Lift him up here. Start him. Just alright. I'll tell you, usually the inside bead is really not that bad, but we are off one tire. So originally I said just put the wheel on here, and then I've got my trusty piece of wood. Well, it's not working. This piece of wood is just going to contact the rim here on this part, and that's not enough to hold it. So what happens is when you're trying to get the tire off, this thing slides like that, and that makes it really difficult to get the tire off. They make cones, to a centering cone basically, that slides over the post here and will not allow the wheel to move. So that is what I ordered on Amazon. This is a billet aluminum piece. This was not cheap. This was like 40 bucks. Initially I thought it's a cone, it's a centering cone, right? It goes on this way. It advertises it's made for 5.4 inch diameter hubs. That's this size because if you put it on what looks to me to be upside down, it will drop down in here. They'll catch the wheel, and now it can't turn. I'm going to try that, and I think I'll have a lot better luck. We'll see. Hey, it's me. Just doing a little voiceover here for this part. Yeah, as you can see, that centering cone did not quite have the effect I was hoping for. I'm still struggling trying to get this darn thing off. I think it did help, because it is holding the tire in the center. But I think it's coming down to just not having the soapy water or the tire bead lube where it needs to be on that, particularly on this inside bead, which if you reach underneath the tire, you can reach it. I just didn't think to do that. So I struggled with this. You'll see me here in a second, even unbolt the duck head and try to adjust it and go backwards, and eventually it came off, but it was a bunch of monkeying around. So still definitely working on the technique here. Okay, so I got the new tire here. Actually, the used tire that we just took off, and I just coated the bead with some of this Bead Buster tire mount lubricant, little brush. So it's gonna make it easier. You can also use a soapy water, but I got some of this, and it's made for the task. So that's what I'm gonna use. And to put the tire on, at least the first bead, usually with some convincing, it will slide on and you won't have to use the duck head or anything like that. So we'll see how that goes here. And before you do that, let's remember to put our valve stem in. Valve stem and... yeah, me again here. While I'm distracted with that valve stem and muttering to myself, just a quick note. You'll notice that the wood block is back and not the centering cone there on the rim, and that's because these clips are actually a little out of order. This was before I realized the issue and got the centering cone. So for mounting the tire, yeah, ideally it would have the centering cone. I did not have that much trouble mounting them. They seem to slip on there fairly easily, and so the rim did not have a tendency to get itself off center. So just wanted to make a note of that. Okay, down over the lip of the rim, and then put this up here like this, where it's down on this side, it's up on this side, and as we go around, it makes the upside the downside. And I also like to start maybe just ahead of the valve stem, so we're not dealing with that at all. Keeping our red dot lined up with the valve stem. We get our bar. Put them in there and just kind of start going around. See, it'll drop where it's supposed to. It's feeling better. Okay. This is the nice thing, if you just push with your hip, you have both hands available. Okay, there we have it. It's on there. Okay, and the ultimate question, did we get this mounted without damage to the rim? And I would say, did a good job. Got a little bit of grease on there, had to clean it off, but yeah. Okay. Okay, so for the bubble balancer, obviously you want to get the bubble in the middle. This is off a little bit, but I believe it is correctly calibrated because when I put I'll call it a known balanced tire, the bubble's pretty close to the center, closer than it is right now. But what really helps out, I put a little piece of tape here to mark just a location on the face there, and then I'm going to line up a known location on the tire, which I usually use like the valve stem, so that it's in line with that mark, and it gives me a known measuring point so I can go back to it if I need to. Now on this balancer, obviously you want to make sure you're on a solid surface, it's not rocking around. You want to make sure that this nut is nice and tight. And the balancer should move pretty freely. Mine moves fairly freely, but then it does stop. I did drill out the contact point on the inside of here, so the needle is contacting. The point of the needle is actually contacting inside there. To get this to provide the same reading, consistent readings, the other thing I had to do is when putting the wheel, or the tire, onto the bubble balancer, if you notice on this side, which is the same side as I've marked with the tape, you see all these scratches going down here? Because I line up the inside of the wheel with this part of that mark. So as I drop the wheel down on here, the inside is going to scrape down on this. And I found that gives me consistent results. If I place the wheel in that way, in that manner, so that the inside of the rim contacts right here, and then as it'll slide down the cone until it's kind of like self-centered. If I do that each time, I get the same reading in the bubble. Otherwise, if I don't, I found that I could pick the tire up, place it back on the balancer, and this bubble will be someplace else. So that's not helpful. Gotta have consistent readings. You know, if you're changing nothing else, that it should give you the same reading. I'm going to go ahead and place this tire on there, and we'll kind of see what the reading tells us. All right, so I got the wheel on there, and if you notice, here's my valve stem. There's my mark. They're off a little bit, but just to have the same reference point. Looking at the bubble, it's not really centered in there. It's off a little bit. I'll call that 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's a little below the 9 o'clock position, I guess. And I'm reading it again in relation to the blue mark. This is 12. So now if I pick this up and set it down again, I should get that exact same reading. So that's something you want to do with your balancer. Make sure that if you place the wheel again on the balancer and you've changed nothing, you haven't rotated the wheel or anything, you place it right back down with your mark, and in this case I'm using the valve stem, it should give you the same reading. If it doesn't, stop right there and try to figure out where your source of error is coming from. And again, that's why as I'm laying this down, I'm going to take this inside part of the rim, and I'm going to slide it down until it contacts the cone, and then let it kind of plop down on there. Not real hard, but hard enough so I know that it's set solid. And that, again, has helped me get consistent readings. All right, so we want to get our bubble toward the middle. So I'm going to set a couple of weights. I'm sure you guys know how these things work. I mean, this is indicating the light side is on this side. So I'm going to put a couple of weights, you know, in here, doing the Y technique, as they call it, and try to home in on getting that thing leveled out. Okay, so here's what I ended up with. So I just kind of taped 2 weights here to the rim, and now check my bubble. Again, this is being 12 o'clock, you know, just to keep your bearings. Put 2 weights there, and pretty close. With this balancer, I fiddled and fiddled, and that's pretty much close as I could get it. These things are not super accurate, but I think it's accurate enough that you should not be getting vibrations and things like that. And to me, that's close enough. I mean, this car, it's a Lincoln Town car. It's not gonna see 100 miles an hour. I might do 80, 85 occasionally on the highway, but yeah, it's not doing much more than that. So I get this thing pretty close. That should do it. These, by the way, so I have 2 half-ounce weights, so 1 total ounce is all that I've got. And I'd rather err on the side of being a little underweighted than adding too much weight, I guess. So I'm gonna take this tire, or the wheel, and I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees, take another reading, then I'm gonna rotate it to 180, take a reading, and 270, take a reading, and then, I mean, theoretically I put it back at 0 or 12 o'clock, and it should give me the reading it's saying right now. Typically what you do is, well, I'll show you what you do. Over here on my notebook, I could write down all the readings. So you just figure, here's a good one. So I'm just writing down, here's kind of like the balancer face, and then this is where the bubble is. I mean, it's not to scale, but ideally you want the bubble right in the middle. But if you're off a little bit, I try to indicate how far it's off, and then, you know, where in that quadrant it's off, just to kind of remember. And you should see a nice even spread. If you're getting crap like this, where it's just like random, or something is wrong with the balancer, you got some kind of error creeping in, you're not getting consistent results. At least that's what was happening to me. So when I started getting this, that's nice. This distance from the center point is your imbalance, which you're trying to remove with the weights. But I'll probably make a similar graph to this, turn it to, you know, if I get this reading at 0, I'll mark it. I turn it 90, maybe I get that reading. Turn it to 180, I get that reading, and turn it to 270, get that reading. Write them down, just to make sure that they're making a nice pattern and that I don't have something weird going on. So I'll do that, and we can take a look at it in a second. Okay. So how'd we do? Well, I got this first attempt. So this is typical of something is wrong, because you're not getting a spread through all the quadrants with, you know, equidistant from your, you know, origin or the 0 point or whatever. This tells me something is wrong. I noticed if I arrange the weights and then just pick the wheel up, set it back on using the special technique where you let it drag down on that side, it'll give a different reading. Why does it do that? Yeah, I can't tell you. Just from this one, that's the way it seems to work. So that's the reading I took as the first reading, and then I did, you know, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and now it's at 9 o'clock or 270 degrees, however you want to call it. And, you know, so now we got that 2 o'clock position. Probably hard to see on the video. So after I did that, and I got this. And so this is the 9 o'clock that I just showed you. I just wrote it there. So that would have been, you know, 0, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or, you know, 0, 90, 180, 270. But they're, it's giving a decent reading. It's equidistant from the center, and granted, yes, so I'm off. I need to, you know, typically add weight, or, and it, you know, if maybe I should, but to me, looking at this, it's so close, and I've fiddled and fiddled, and, you know, I'm adding a full ounce. I just don't think it's going to make a difference, so I'm going to leave it like that. All right, I'm going to flip this over and stick them on. So I got my 2 weights there. I'm actually going to be sticking them, there's one tape mark there, and there's the other one sticking out there. You want to put the weights in line with like the face of the rim. So if you just imagine this coming straight this way, you're going to end up, at least on this rim, there's like a little lip here. I'm going to end up just to the inside of that lip. Oh, and you do want to make sure this is clean. I mean, this rim is brand new. It was dusty, so I just wiped it down with a little bit of cleaner. These are just an adhesive backing, so not likely they'll fly off. I've had to take a couple off after sticking them in here, and they are on there. Let me tell you. Even they've only been on a few minutes, so that is some sticky adhesive that they use. What are those? They are these. Again, these are ½ ounce, so 2 would make a full ounce. There they are, CK Auto Professional steel wheel weights. All right, and just like that, they are attached, a full ounce. So I'll road test it, and hopefully no vibrations. So I'd say that was successful. We had no vibration at speed. It was smooth at speed. Okay, we got a cat here. So the mounting and balancing, I'll say, was a success. I have to say though, it was a lot of work, a good number of hours over several days. Was it really worth it? Yeah. To me, I guess so, because Lord willing, there'll be another video on the channel where I install another set of tires, this time on a different vehicle. So I'll leave you with that cliffhanger. I guess for me, it's not so much about the money. I mean, if you have a shop, mountain balanced your tires, you're probably looking at maybe $100. So for the amount of hours I put in to do it myself, it's really probably not worth it. But something about doing it myself and knowing that as best I can, I won't scratch the rims, and I'll put the wheel weights where I want them, and I guess the satisfaction of just doing it myself, that's probably the biggest payoff. So I know it's taking me forever to post videos on the channel. I thank you for stopping by, checking out my latest upload. Please consider liking. If you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing. Drop me a comment down below, what you liked, what you didn't like, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll get a close-up of these. Oh yeah. Very nice.